Yes.
Presenting right away?
Yeah, if you're able to, that would be great.
When you're done, I'll set it.
Feel free to come on up and set up anytime.
Any big plans for the weekend?
Getting ready for the end of the year. There should be, Mato, is there the other microphone around somewhere? I didn't see it up here.
Yeah, we'll bring up that one. One second. Can you open up one more new tab? We'll just have the video loaded. Professor?
Yes.
I converted this video on my Mac, but it never plays on these computers. Is that just because it's different software since this is Microsoft, I'm guessing?
It could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because anytime I double click, it usually starts. But, oh, I already did it.
So are we ready?
Yep, I should have. I guess we're just waiting on our last teammate. Do you know where she is? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there it
The Samsung Galaxy S4.
You've got it? Are we ready to start?
Should we just go without her?
Hi, guys.
Oh, there she is.
So welcome back to the Introduction to International Marketing. This is one of the last classes, and as you all know, the students are going to be giving some of the presentations. If we have time, we're going to talk a little bit more about the personal communications and the idea of using social media with creating a buzz and possible viral marketing. But to start with, we have some students. Are you guys ready to introduce yourselves?
1 second. Do you want to come up? It's our last teammate.
While they're getting ready to present, please make sure the rest of you have a computer ready to take notes, or you have some paper to take notes. All of you need to write down at least 2 things. You need to write down a grade for everything they're doing. And everybody is supposed to be presenting a project, a video, and a grant. And within the project, there's your research paper you're going to be summarizing to the world. So make sure you write a grade for that for each person out of 100. And prepare to write several comments evaluating the presentation. So you must write comments for this. Later, I will send you the Google Drive Excel file, and you can put the grade and the comments for each person into the class file so everybody can see the comments. So make sure your comments are very detailed. Any comments before we start? With that said, please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey, everybody. I am Wade Showalter.
I'm Jung Kim.
I'm Sinjuri.
And when we first started off the year, we were doing big data analysis on Samsung. but some of the things throughout the year the professor was saying kind of inspired us to take maybe a different feel for it. And we started going to investigating into just the mobile marketing field. And first we'll start off with a video, just to get you guys entertained. No, not that one.
The Samsung Galaxy S4 was about to revolutionize the handset market. A phone so highly spec'd that it would reinvent how we communicate. It was the next big thing in smartphone technology. The only problem was, coming from us, that kind of sounded like bullshit. We decided the best way to launch the Galaxy S4 was to get our fans to launch it for us. So we saved them from lining up outside a store and got them to line up online. Fans joined the smartphone line through Facebook and Twitter. Every day for the 2 weeks leading up to the launch, we gave them features of the S4 to promote through their social media network. The more their friends liked, reposted, retweeted, commented, and shared these features, the further up the line they moved. To get the first S4 in the country, all they had to do was get to the front of the line. The smartphone line was broadcast live to a massive electronic billboard, turning the virtual queue into a real-world line. The avatars moved and reacted like a normal line would. At night, they would go under blankets and into sleeping bags, and when it rained, they put up umbrellas.
What happens is I tell all my friends and family about how great the new Samsung phone is, and every time I do, a little speech bubble pops out, and people coming down here at ATS Square can actually see what I'm talking about. The more I share it, the closer I go up to the front of the line.
As a result, 12,000 people queued for 2 weeks. They spread 85,000 stories to over 3 million people, which had an organic reach of over 15 million people. Since the Galaxy S4 launched, market share of the premium smartphone market has grown by 12%. Instead of leaving our biggest fans waiting outside a store for days, we turned them into our media channel and proved that the Galaxy S4 really is the next big thing.
So from that commercial, they used a form of marketing, kind of making fun of Apple in a way, because Apple's fans always line up for the new iPhone. But they thought of a more creative way to do that is get people to share and like promote their product, just their fans. That doing so in 12 days, they got to 15 million people, which is a pretty impressive marketing strategy, if I do say so myself. And it said in the end of the video, it increased their shares by 12%. So that was just one form. And now I'd like to tell you a little bit about mobile marketing. And I'd like to tell you that mobile is the future of marketing, but really the era has already arrived. If you're not implementing some kind of mobile marketing strategy, you're already trailing behind. And as you can see from the graph below, more users are spending larger amounts of time engaged with mobile devices than ever before. We can expect this trend to continue even further in the future. So you see right now in 2014, it's already caught up to desktop computer devices. Mobile marketing. It's ads that appear on mobile smartphones, tablets, or other devices. 80% of mobile device time is spent on apps. Google AdMob helps advertise and creates mobile apps that appear within third-party mobile apps. So like right there, they're playing Angry Birds. You can see on the bottom right here that a car, Infinity, just came up for like a commercial. So you can target like who you want to target for this. Mobile marketing, some of the big ones are QR codes, location-based marketing, mobile search ads, and SMS. A thing that's enhanced mobile marketing is Google AdWords. Google AdWords came out just for like computer desktops where you can get your stuff out online, but now they've enhanced it to even go mobile, so it can go both ways, so you can target. It allows advertisers to market their AdWords bids across both mobile and desktop in a single campaign. It manages bids across devices, locations, and time with ease. For example, advertisers can bid higher for users who are within a certain range of their store or only bid during their store's open hours. Does that all make sense to you guys? Any questions? Okay. All right, here's some examples. Global Maverick extensions. So right there, say they're on their phone and they're just looking for flowers, and then an ad comes up, wedding flowers, birthday flowers, like that's just getting their name out there right there. And here's another one, click to call mobile ad extension. So if you like look up car insurance, say you get in a car accident, it'll come up right there that you can call the company. Just right there, like the ad comes up instantly. Global mobile ad extensions, like coupon offers, like this one, $10 off, so it'll draw you in right away. Click to download ad extensions has adding, and local ad extensions. 1 in 3 mobile searches have local intent, which I thought was pretty fascinating. So you do Italian food in this one, and it'll show you Italian restaurants in your area. So I can promote your restaurant, your business, anything within close. Best practices, be clear and concise. Optimize for local. Consider your audience and experiment with different strategies and benchmark your results. So does that make sense? Any questions?
When it's saying optimize for local,
Yeah.
and you are dealing with Samsung Galaxy, I understand.
Yep.
Do you have any suggestions that how you might be able to do that?
For local, well, they have their stores, obviously, that they can just like, they can send ads to your phone as you walk by, like you said before. So just like you could search like, need new phone or something, and then a Samsung Galaxy could come up with a coupon, you can even discount or subscribe for the plan and get half off on a phone. Like that can give customers like to bring into their phone better.
What about for the rest of your partners?
Oh,
We're talking about promoting Samsung and mobile advertising, and so far you showed very good information about Google AdWords and AdSense for marketing. Do you have any suggestions? Would that be appropriate for Samsung to use promoting their Samsung phone in Korea?
Well, they are the biggest phone company, so, but
Google Ads or?
probably Naver ads.
There we go, yes.
I'll say.
Of course, using the Naver advertising would be also more beneficial because it has a bigger market share here. Great.
And these two kind of go hand in hand too. Experiment with different strategies and benchmark your marks. Like it is important to try different things when you're experimenting, but if you don't like benchmark, like it's kind of like big data. If you don't see your results or see what you do, there's no point of experimenting. Then you should mark down what is successful and what isn't. Our purpose is to inform both local and big businesses on enormous potential mobile marketing has, and teach features on mobile marketing and how to use it to best utilize your business individual needs. And this is the grant that we thought of. It's a MacArthur grant. Yeah, we talked about it last time, but that's the one that we're thinking about. And do you guys have anything else to add? No. Is there any questions?
Can you explain a little bit more about how you might work as a keen student, 2014, 2015? We have gone through a class and we've studied marketing, we've studied the international environment, and unlike most regular marketing programs, you've done the marketing project and you've done something extra, you've done a grant. So could you summarize to the world, what is this grant idea again?
This grant is where you can apply if you have an idea to help something, if you have a purpose and like you can solve a problem. The grant will supply you money so you can, how can you say, research your project better and get better results. So basically, we want to research more on mobile marketing because it looks like that is going to be the future. And if we can find the best ways for mobile marketing and improve it, then we can help local businesses, big businesses, and we can teach them how to use this strategy better and ultimately increase their business sales.
It looks like you're getting a grant for renting some home in the United States.
Sorry, that was just the only picture I could find of this. But it's, shoot, do you have the paper? I had it. It was like for a technology grant. It was, I want to say, $500,000. They supplied 2 for Yonsei University.
So MacArthur Foundation does more than just rent information.
Yeah, they supply many grants actually. So if you would go to the website, it says International Grant Making. You could find all the grants they list and what kind of field you're interested in. So I would definitely recommend that.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Any questions?
I look forward to maybe in the future, if we have more time, I'll talk to you about who you might specifically target within Samsung for the grants. Like if you do apply and you're successful with the MacArthur Foundation grant and you get some sort of funds, you will go through Yonsei University with these funds and work with Samsung, but how will you work with them? Who will you work with them? That would be interesting to talk about later, but thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So we've just had another one of our presentations. Again, please make sure all of you take a few seconds again to write down a mark for each of the participants. And make sure your mark is out of 100. And make sure you have lots of extra writing, some comments, some notes, some ideas and suggestions to improve. And later, you're going to take that information, take the marks, and take your sentences, and put it into the drive online for all of the class. So is there any other students that's ready to give your presentation now, or are we ready to go on to the rest of the personal communications? Going once, going twice, back to personal communications. One of the things that I wanted to talk about is specifically related to personal communications. We've gone through and we were talking about mobile and social media with viral marketing. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about is the idea of key design elements for effective websites. We will come back to this a little bit later. That's 17-1. Online ads. We started to talk about this with the last student presentation. How you can search through ads, how you can have ads that will be searching for customers when you're searching. So you are searching for phone, you're searching for an area, and an ad could pop up just because it identifies you're in the area. And then as you identified, you could be playing the Angry Birds video game, or you could be doing many things online with mobile apps, and you can have display ads popping up. It's no longer just the desktop advertisements, but we now also have the display ads with mobile also.
Professor?
Yes?
I forgot to add too, under Google Ads or whatever, you could also only have your ads go during store hours or you're within a certain range of the store. So like they're only promoted during store hours, so you can promote it or yeah, like if you're within 5 miles. Or, yeah.
Yes. When you're making your ads, make sure you understand with social media, if you have a business with a product or service, just using social media is one thing. You can make a video, post that on YouTube. You can make a video or just a regular post, put it on Facebook. You can put your advertisement in your Naver or many of your other online programs or platforms. But that aspect of just using social media is a very small benefit to your business. Most of the benefit will come from using those apps most efficiently with the analytics programs or the insight programs, Facebook Analytics, Facebook Insights. And as we just identified, those insights can identify where is your customer, what are they looking for, what time you want to attract them, where they are in the world, even the age group. There's many things you can identify if you're using the social media analytics or insights programs that you don't normally see when you're just using the social media program. So make sure that you're definitely aware of that. That's a good point. Is mobile marketing the next big medium for direct marketers? We just started talking about that. I think everybody understands that, yes, the more that we are all being plugged in, using smartphones all the time, the idea of direct marketing, they're going to start coming directly to you. They're going to know where you are, who you are, what you're interested in. So it's definitely going to become a lot more popular. The idea of platforms of social media. We know that there's many different areas that you can use as social media. Online communities and forums, blogs, social networks. There's many, many different places. And that the ideas of just many different types is one thing, but make sure you also understand, for example, with the exam next week, soon, the idea of there's many different types of social media platforms, but each may change depending on where you are. For example, the Facebook is in one country. It might be a different platform in China or Korea. So here's some of the important stuff that I wanted to expand on. The idea of buzz and viral. I think everybody needs to understand that 100 years ago, 200 years ago, companies used to just come to you and tell you the information. They had to create some sort of talk, and you would listen to them because there's no other noise. There's no other information around 100 or 200 years ago. Now, there's so many people communicating with so many other people around the world, and the idea that I see advertisements here, I see advertisements all over the place, there's information everywhere. You need to understand there's so much information, your message can get lost. So you have to do something special to make sure people will talk about it. And creating a buzz, that sound of many people talking about it, blah, 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 that is a very important thing to do. More important than just this is viral marketing. What's the difference between buzz marketing and viral marketing? Buzz marketing is just getting people to talk. But viral marketing is where it's so interesting, those people will share it or send it to other people. And so it will go from just beyond one place where they're chit-chatting to spreading like a virus around the world. So how to start a buzz is the first step. Identify the influential individuals and companies and devote extra effort to them. Who are those? Who are those influential individuals? Online, you can easily identify whoever has the most friends, or whoever has the most active blogs, or whoever has the most hits. Those are easy to identify, especially if you're going to be using the analytics program. As we identified with the last student presentation with Samsung, how would Samsung identify, as discussed in the last presentation, who is going to be able to get that first Samsung Galaxy phone? So how does Samsung identify the influential users? You guys were just discussing it in your group project. Okay, Samsung can make advertisements on Naver and promote them on Naver, yes. How can Samsung identify the best individual, not just the best advertisement, but the best individual to work with, or the best individual to give your smartphone? Any of the other group partners? Are you aware? I believe you were discussing that in your presentation. you were saying anybody can create a video or anybody can create a post. And as that gets promoted and gets more likes, whoever has the most likes goes to the front of the group. And there's many ways to track that. Yes, Wade.
Basically, in the video, it explained how Samsung, as they were launching new products during the 12 days, if you were to share, just promote it, sharing what the Samsung phone can do, its new features, they'll move you up a spot in line. It was like a game almost to them. So like, if people got farther up the line, they got it. So more people shared, more of the information got out to more people.
Right. The key is to understand the value of social media platform is very different than the social media platform management programs like analytics. The analytics can identify who is liking an ad or who is sharing that ad. So every time you look at it, yes, you get a point. But if you look at it and like it, you get more points. So you go ahead of the other person. And then if you look at it, like it, and share it to somebody else, you get a lot more points. And then if other people share your information, you get a lot more points. That's one way to track who is the influential individuals. And you can see who is most active and who's writing the most comments. Those are the ways to identify the influential individuals. What are those people called that you're usually looking for? Innovators is the word. Innovators, early adopters, late adopters, and then there's the laggards. There's several different names of the people. You should be going for the innovators because that's your new type of research and development stream. That's your new marketing department right there. Supply those key people with product samples. As we identified, Samsung gives them the first phone. They could give it to them for free because they are very active. And that could be worth millions of dollars. So as long as you're keeping them happy, giving them one small phone is considered a deal, but they really appreciate that. So keep them happy. Work through the community influentials. Try to find the blogs or the discussion groups or the Kakao chat rooms that talk about this information a lot and supply information to them. Make sure they are working with your company. Develop word-of-mouth referral channels to build business. Provide compelling information that customers want to pass along. So, for example, with a Samsung smartphone, or even the idea of the coffee shop business, what are some examples of something that people might want to pass along? We understand this semester we've talked about how coffee shops can promote themselves. And now we've talked about how smartphone companies can promote themselves. Well, how can they make people want to pass along their social media information? Any ideas? I can't hear you. Perhaps you might have, sure, go ahead.
Well, it's similar, like you offer an incentive or something that's fun to them, so that'll pass information along by doing that. You give them a reason to. Or you make them think that there isn't a reason, but they do it on their own.
Yes. Providing some sort of incentives is very, very important. An example of those incentives is the idea that the more you like something, the more you view something, the sooner you can get a prize. And so people are going to start liking it more, or they're going to get their friends to say, please like my ad more so I can win this competition. Maybe you've seen some of your friends say, this person is in a singing contest, please vote for me. Or I'm going to run for student council, please vote for me. And they're going to get you to try to vote for them or look at their social media program. That idea of having a contest. As we talked about with the coffee company, coffee companies could give that ideal business person a special prize or a special meeting room or a special briefcase or a special business thermos or a special discount card, VIP card. Those things for doing the most, for talking the most, or for passing on the most information. That's the idea of the buzz. Beyond then, and then there's the type of sales representatives. Make sure that we understand there's the deliverer, the order taker, missionary, technician, demand creator, the solution vendor. Many different people are involved in business. Try to think of a way you can get many of these key people to want to promote things. Designing the sales force. When you're going out there, promoting the phone is one thing, but a salesperson that is actually getting a customer sign a contract is different. So designing the sales force, we have the sales force objectives, the sales force strategies. Understand the idea of just saying, think of your coffee, that's one thing. Or think of Samsung Galaxy, that's one thing. That's just the straight marketing or the promotions. But the sales is where you're going beyond that and you're saying, click here to sign up now. Click here to order now. Or you can have people going to, for example, the flash mobs. You guys might have heard of the idea where you can have somebody say, everybody meet in this place at 3 o'clock today. Maybe you can have hundreds or thousands of people meet. And if you do meet, you get a discount on buying the new Samsung phone. That is a sales force strategy. You get the eager people that are innovators and online to be able to come do something fun, and the end result is a lot of your sales. So your sales force structure could be built around these plans. Your sales force size could be built around that concept of where most of your active innovators are. How you compensate them. Sales force compensation. Does it have to be a staff? Does it have to be cash money? No. Increasingly, a lot of people are realizing they might get their paycheck from their business, but they like doing something else with their free time. They like doing some personal thing a lot. Like they're interested in what is the latest and best new app for the phones. So if they like those things, you could give them an honorary title. You are the ambassador of Samsung phones, or you are the public relations advisor for the Apgujeong district of the Seoul City area. So giving them those sorts of compensation just with a title or a position or having a free product might be enough to have them develop more sales for you. It doesn't always have to be cash. Sales tasks, prospecting, targeting, communicating, selling, servicing, information gathering, allocating. Again, the whole thing that we've talked about is there's a lot of marketing that we can do. Promoting one thing is very important, but it doesn't mean anything unless you actually are able to sell your product or service. So the idea of gathering information is very important. You must know who is your customer, who is that target. It's okay to sell to everybody, but it's not nearly as efficient as if you sell to just the best customers you have. So segment the market, target that key customer, gather the information about what they want, and then provide something to them. That's basic marketing. But then guaranteeing they're going to close the deal, they're going to get your product, they're going to make the sale, that idea is very important. You can't forget it. Ask for the sale. Make sure you understand the idea of your videos is nice. Your PPTs are nice. But if you want to sell something, you need to have your contacts here. You need to have your email address. Your video is very nice, but it's not very hard to put some sort of note at the bottom of your video saying, here's my website, here's my email address. Contact us to get your product. Contact us to get some of your service. How should the firm organize the sales force structure? There's a lot of things to consider with this. The workload approach to determining sales force structure. Oops. Customers can be grouped in size classes. There could be a desirable call frequencies established. Number of accounts in each size class multiplied by the call frequency. Depends how many people are calling you. Or how many people, not just calling, it could be a text message or emailing you. The average number of emails possible per year established. Like if you are identifying how many of these innovators are emailing other people, or how many of your key customers, your Samsung ambassadors, are sharing files with other people each year. Based on whoever does the most sales, they get that high position. The number of reps equal the total number of annual calls required divided by the number possible. So with the compensation again, we talked about how you could have a fixed amount. It could be cash, or it could be a variable amount. And it could be just based on a benefit. Maybe you just want to, I know some students are doing jobs promoting organizations just to get that name. I am this company's sales ambassador. And maybe at the end of the year, you get some sort of bonus. Those are some of the things that you consider with the sales force compensation. Managing the sales force. Increasingly, I have been talking about how this is more interesting. The idea of when a company is recruiting people, the idea of the old-fashioned idea of getting the new worker to come into the company and work in my building is changing. Increasingly, they're having more people outside the office working and promoting your products and services. And the idea of recruiting is also changing. Increasingly, it's changing from you need to have a university degree, a top university degree, and work experience, to the idea of we don't know what the university is teaching you unless you're watching it online. So actually, the companies can say, you take this class online, this class online, this class online, then show me you have finished those classes, then you can have an interview. So you can recruit people that have already done this online education and prepared for you. What are some examples? Just to review what we've gone through so far this year. Where can you get online classes? What are some possible service providers? Allison, yes, www.alison, allison.com, made from Ireland. Another one? Khan Academy, K-A-H-N Academy.com, yes. Both of those are some of the world leaders. Allison can give you free certificates when you finish a class. And just like this idea of banner advertising, it's online, it's a free class. You don't have to pay anything. But if you're going to watch this class just like you're watching me, at the bottom of the screen, there's an advertisement, there's a banner ad. So the companies earn money, Allison earns money by letting companies sell advertising during the class. If you don't want any advertising, you can pay $10 or $30 and you don't have to watch any of those ads and go straight through the class. That's one aspect of the whole idea of online advertising, mobile. So recruiting people, you can recruit people that are not just inside your traditional building. You can recruit people that are outside your building, anywhere that the customers are identified. And you can recruit people, even if they don't have the university degrees, specifically trained for you by you identifying what courses you like and telling them to show you have completed it with a certificate. So select just those people, or the people that are active online. How can you identify who in this class might be selected more than the other? The old way is just look for your university marks. So you can look for your university marks. That's one old way. What else can you check for? What should you want to be growing to be more attractive to customers, to the companies? Work experience and resumes is important. The more work experience you have, the more the companies might select you. The higher the university reputation, the more the companies might select you. The higher the grade point average, they might select you. All of those are kind of old information. What's something that's new in the last 20 years? Networking. In the past, I couldn't easily find if you are a popular person. I couldn't find if you had that big network. I couldn't find if you had a high, valuable guangxi. How can you do that today? Yes, you are online. You have a Facebook account. That's a good sign. Is there anybody here that doesn't have Facebook? Everybody has Facebook, so you're all the same. How do I know, should I hire you, or should I select you, Maro, or should I select you, Emily? How do I know who I should select? Who is maybe best? The idea of it is easy for the employers to check how many friends you have or how active you are online. If you have a YouTube account, that is a good thing. You are better than somebody that just makes regular videos and posts them anywhere. Or if you have a Facebook or Naver analytics program, that is easy to see how much you have. So if you show that information during an interview, you're much more attractive to the company, and you have a higher chance of being selected. As soon as you start identifying those online courses and your social media analytics abilities, obviously you already show companies you know how to be trained. So the whole idea, the headache of training, is completely changing. Companies don't have to worry about training anymore. Supervising, the same thing. If you have these objectives set up and you have these analytics set up, I can track how many followers you have and how much you're sharing. So I don't need to look over your shoulder. You don't need to sit in a desk in front of me every day. You could be on the other side of the world on a beach as long as you're active with your social media analytics programs. That whole idea of motivating people. We replicate the idea of Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a huge organization. Almost everybody in the world knows of this organization, and it only has one paid employee. Everybody else is doing it because they are motivated to do it for free. So if you find these innovators that are interested in your Samsung Galaxy, or find the innovators that are interested in your coffee, those people might be motivated to do something to help your company for free. And they're addicted to it in some sense. They love it in some sense. They're probably better than the paid old-fashioned workers. So make sure we're aware of those things. So we're almost finished. The steps in effective selling. Make sure that you understand these at least 7 different steps. The idea of you have to do the prospecting, qualifying. You could sell to anybody in the world, but that's not efficient. There's one law that helps remind you you shouldn't sell to everyone. What is the name of that law? The Italian law. You could prospect and sell to everybody in the world, but you'll waste a lot of time and energy. You should go from 100% Pareto's law, Vilfredo Pareto's law. The Italian real estate guy, he identified 80% of your benefits come from 20% of your efforts. And that's still kind of old. Some people are saying you should focus not on 100% of the world, but just on the top 10%. And if other people are interested, great. But focus on keeping these people happy because they give you the most benefit. Be very selective. Qualify those people. Make sure you can check their background. Are they active on social media? Your pre-approach. Sometimes you might want to be able to develop some sort of personal relationship with the organization before you go for an interview. If you want to work for Samsung, how can you develop some sort of approach before the interview? As we identified with the class project, if you go and survey people in Samsung for just a research project, you develop a relationship. That's very good. So any traditional class research paper, you should survey your dream employer. That develops a relationship. But even better than that, not just going and leaving, develop more of a personal relationship. have your name cards or get their contacts. For example, their Facebook account, their LinkedIn account. A lot of these leading employers are still kind of old school, but the best ones are starting to change. The name card is no longer just saying the company name and the company phone number, but the new ones are also saying, here's also my Facebook account. Here's also my LinkedIn account. So you can get in touch with them socially. So that idea of you can approach them long before you want that job interview. And again, very valuable. You walk up to them, you say, I have $100,000 from the MacArthur Foundation to develop something that you will benefit from. Are you interested? It's almost guaranteed they will want to work with you. So having a grant to work with an organization is very helpful. You can talk with them that way. And of course, anytime you want, if you find on LinkedIn or the KOCW, you can search sometimes for just the employers and then start contacting people and developing relationships and seeing how they're communicating socially, online, before you develop the personal relationship. So there's a lot of things to overcome with your steps for effective selling. Overall, one of the most important things is the research, of course. Research, develop things, and then make sure you close. Closing is completely different than just the idea of marketing. Marketing is one aspect, but if you don't have the sale, if you don't have them actually doing something, if you don't follow up with buy my product, buy this service, or hire me, or use me, then you're wasting a lot of your time. So make sure you close the sale, the connection. You attract somebody to come to you, great, but unless you actually have an agreement, you're not closing that agreement. Then follow up with them. Don't just be cold and impersonal. After you are working with them, stay in touch. If you have an interview or if you have a survey with them, a day later, send them a thank you note. Or a week later, send them a thank you note. If Samsung has this promotion to identify who is most active with their ads just to get the newest phone, don't just finish after that phone contest. Send them a note a week later or a month later saying thank you. Now that it's finished, did you have any other thoughts? How could we improve, or how do you want me to improve to make it more fun next time? Get them to keep marketing for you. Finding the first customer is very hard. But after you have that first customer, keep them. Follow up with them. Make sure your relationship grows. So we are almost finished. Now for review, how can companies conduct direct marketing and interactive marketing for a competitive advantage? We've started to talk about that. How does the word of mouth affect marketing success? What decisions do companies face in designing, managing a sales force? How can salespeople improve selling, negotiating, relationship marketing skills? Of course, we've covered this. It's in the textbook. Make sure you're aware of some of these details. Next week is our last week. It's going to be the beginning of the review session. Please let me know if you have special questions for review you think are interesting and possible answers. If you have good questions for review, we can network together, build the exams together. Otherwise, I am doing the old-fashioned style and just making it from what I know online is valuable and giving it to you. The best way possible is to interact with the users. I've targeted these users. You guys can make some of the exam questions yourself. So thank you very much. Yes?
Actually, I made a business card yesterday, but although our group presentation was over, but could I have a chance to show them our business card?
Sure, yes. Come on up, show your business card.
And
Would you like to come close to the front?
I had the business card, but I couldn't print out, so I think I can send them. It's the way to show them our business card.
Sure, you can turn around and show it to them, yes?
I can send them and I can show our business card.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
The idea of having business cards is very, very important. It costs almost nothing to make something online, and you can send it to people. You can include it on the bottom of your email. It's shocking how anybody does not have an automated signature at the bottom of their email nowadays. And this card is one way to do it. Yes?
The way to print out with the paper, but I think it's the good way to send a message.
Yes.
So I can send a message to our
All the classmates. Yes. Very good. Thank you very much, folks. Now that the class is over, we're going to stop the videoing. I think Maro's finishing the videoing. I just wanted to talk to you guys for